again. Hey, I really appreciate the help on that last video on how to submit insect or disease sample, but you gotta stop appearing like this. It's hard on the heart.
Yeah, ferry travel's like that. You get used to it, though. What's on your mind these days, Agent Morgan?
Well, a lot of growers have been asking me about agritourism. You know, they hear about these other farmers bringing people, visitors on their farm and making, a lot of money. But it's kind of hard to define exactly what it is. Everybody seems to do it a different way.
True, and that's part of the beauty of agritourism. Every farm has a different story to tell and a different perspective on rural life. They're each doing things a little bit differently. That does give them an opportunity to collaborate without competing.
Well, that's all fine and good. But how's that supposed to help me assist a farmer in determining whether it's right for his farm?
I think I feel another video-related wish coming on. Is that your wish then today?
Yeah, that's my wish. I'll call it agritourism. What it is, and is it for my farm?
As you...
Oh, ho! I don't think I like that name. Let's change it to something else.
Oh, Agent Morgan, surely you know how this works. You don't get to change the wish.
Good point. I guess what really matters is helping me empower people and provide solutions.
Okay, agritourism, what is it, and is it for my farm? It is. North Carolina Cooperative Extension is here to help growers who are considering adding an agritourism element to their farming business. You want to evaluate the various types of enterprises that are available and how they might match your personal career goals. Are you looking to extend your cash flow as long into the season as possible by operating a roadside stand as long as you can? Or perhaps you'd like to reduce the time in which people are intruding onto your property by growing something that has a shorter season, like pick your own strawberries or pick your own blueberries, so that folks are coming to your farm for just a portion of the year. Do you enjoy sharing your agricultural lifestyle with children in an educational format? If so, then field trips might be something for you to look into. Or maybe you just want to provide a safe, fun place for families to enjoy agricultural life for a little while, a pumpkin patch or a corn maze. It's up to you which of the endless choices that you'll adopt. What's important is that you pick what matches your personality, your enterprise, and your career goals. First of all, agritourism is tourism, so the appearance of your facility is extremely important. You want to make sure that your visitors feel safe and welcome while visiting your facility. Trade in those weeds and rusty old farm equipment for a well-manicured and cared for outdoor space. Consider including some meeting space in your agritourism facility. This is a great place for groups or field trips to gather and talk about what they've learned while visiting your facility. But in addition, it can also be a source of more income through rentals for weddings, reunions, or other meetings. Including some rentable space is a great way to increase the profitability of your agritourism enterprise.
Agritourism can be a number of different things. You could either pick your own apples, pick your own strawberries. You can have farm animals that the kids can come and enjoy, or maybe even a petting zoo. Hay rides and farmers markets would also qualify as agritourism. The important thing is to play to your strengths and do things that you enjoy.
Overall, the community has well received what we're doing. I think more people are becoming aware of eating local. Um, they're more conscious of what they're feeding their families, and people are beginning to get more health conscious. And by our county being so rich in agriculture, that makes us a prime location for a farmers market to help feed our families in Greene County.
A successful agritourism venture will respect the tradition and heritage of the region while still meeting the needs of today's tourist.
In counties like Jones, we don't have an infrastructure that could support large business. So agricultural tourism allows us to capitalize on what we already have here in the county. It also allows us to provide experiences for urban county dwellers to come in to our county and learn what it is like to be directly related to agriculture. Actually, pick the crops from the field, pick pumpkins, work directly on a horse farm or those types of things. So it allows them an opportunity to experience what we experience on a daily basis in rural counties.
Whether you have a museum-style setting or you're sending families out to the field to pick strawberries, having a knowledgeable, experienced, and friendly person on staff is going to make your visitors' experience much more enjoyable and memorable. A map of your facility, fact sheets, or even a video can be helpful in getting your story across in the event that you have staffing limitations. Whether you're telling the story of a farm process from yesteryear, telling someone how to cut the best Christmas tree, or to pick the tastiest blueberries, a well laid out display with clear, understandable instructions will help your enterprise look more professional.
A successful agritourism venture will be very family friendly. It is important to do a risk assessment of the activities you plan to provide. Think like a kid. Signs that convey safety information are also very important. Work with your insurance provider to ensure you have the proper coverage for the types of activities on your farm.
We hope this information has given you some ideas about how to incorporate agritourism at your farm. Now let's hear from an industry veteran with more than 20 years of experience in agritourism.
Well, Mike, what are probably 2 or 3 things you would say are kind of the most important things to kind of take into consideration if you're thinking about starting an agritourism venture on a farm?
A few things to consider would be why you're doing it. For example, do you want to try to make a living doing it, or are you retiring and you have you just want to keep yourself busy, or you have some disposable income you want to get rid of. Personally, I like it where you're doing it to make a living. That way, you're gonna work smarter. You're gonna do things that make economic sense, not just because it's fun.
Do you think, in your particular instance, or maybe just in a broad spectrum, do you think the animals are more important, or the produce, or kind of a combination of all the different activities and different things you have going on here? Which do you think has kind of contributed to the most for your success?
Over the years, we started out with just Christmas trees. We didn't know anything about any kind of agritourism. We didn't know anything about Christmas trees, or anything about trying to sell to the general public or make a living. But we started we started selling them in 1986. About the same time, we happened to get a few goats. So the goats did kind of complement everything. Where there are other area tree farms, if they could come to our tree farm and go visit a goat, and they had kids, the goats like that. About 1992, we got into some hayride stuff. Also in '89, we had strawberries. So everything complements everything else. The hayrides are good for schools and education. They're good for hayride around the farm for general public on weekends in October. So everything complements everything else, and what we have done has just been a natural evolution to what we are now.
You think any part of your success can be attributed to your customers and kind of taking their input? All of us don't necessarily like to hear what other people have to say, but kind of taking what their kind of recommendations are, kind of including them in the fold here.
Definitely, because we're located near Jacksonville, Camp Lejeune. We started out selling trees, and we actually planted some apples in '89 also, and a lot of that stuff we picked up from our customers as far as the way they grew up. they grew up in New England or the Midwest or further south or whatever, and it seemed like they had more disposable time and money than we did growing up, because whenever we grew up, we worked in tobacco every summer, and that's pretty much all we did, work and live. But they would do hay rides. They would tell me about going to the apple orchard, picking apples and things like that. So we kind of picked up on some of the things they were doing. That's kind of how we got started with hay rides and stuff.
What do you think in this technology age, everybody's got cell phones they can get on the internet with and all that sort of thing. Where do you think social media fit into your success as an agritourism venture?
We don't like to admit it, but it is necessary.
If someone's looking to get into the agritourism business, we're going to assume they already have some type of agriculture present on their farm. Would you recommend them you have a restaurant here, you have a lot of different activities and events for people to participate in. Would you recommend them going out and trying to start with all this stuff, or kind of start small and work your way up, kind of like you said with your Christmas trees, and then you kind of added some stuff here and there?
I think you would need to start small, because there's so much to learn as you go. Learning how to deal with the general public. I know farmers who come up here that are customer of ours. They say there's no way in the world they would deal with people. It is a challenge to deal with the general public.
To review, an agritourism enterprise uses a clean, welcoming venue to tell a story about the heritage and traditions of a specific area. It uses signs and clear instructions to guide its visitors safely through all the activities at the farm. Let's take a look at a few more tools available to get your agritourism enterprise promoted and up and running.
For those people who are interested in developing an agricultural tourism business, Cooperative Extension has lots of resources that can assist them. One of the things is our homegrown handmade website. This website features all types of agricultural tourism sites across North Carolina. It features about 70 to 80 different counties.
The North Carolina Farm Fresh website is a great resource both to find agritourism enterprises and to list your own. You can look by region or by county in the state to look for an agritourism farm close to you. Just use the scroll down menu and the check boxes to choose the type of enterprise that you're looking for. A listing on this site is free.
Now I'm ready to discuss agritourism options with my growers. Looks like the extension fairy came through again. Now if I could just get her to provide perfect weather and abundant crops.